Hey guys, what is going on? It's your boy Fallen, and welcome to the Friday video where we do the final head-to-head battle between Kitsplit and Sharegrid. Now you might say, Fallen, what is Kitsplit and Sharegrid? Well, for you to fully understand what those platforms are, you need to see the past two videos I've released this week. But to give you the Spark Notes versions, Kitsplit and Sharegrid are peer-to-peer marketplaces that allow you to rent your personal creative gear to other individuals. And the way I explain it to that is that over your career, you probably invested a lot of your hard-earned money into your creative equipment, such as your photo equipment, your video equipment, your lighting, audio equipment, any sort of creative equipment that is sitting around your home, your studio, your apartment, your whatever, that potentially is collecting dust, but you've spent a significant amount of money on. Well, that equipment can be collecting you some passive income. And Sharegrid and Kitsplit allow you to do so by signing up on these platforms and listing the gear that you have for other individuals to potentially rent out. So you make a profile on these sites and you put the equipment that you have out there, you give a quick description and the pricing that you're interested in charging for that equipment, either for daily, weekly, or even a longer period of time, and a potential individual might come across your rental and rent it out from you. Now, I'm not going to be doing a full tutorial on how that is done. That is why the previous two videos are already recorded. And if you want to watch those, they will be linked in the description of this video. But we're doing a head-to-head battle to see who is the champion, at least in my mind. And I would love to know who you think the champion is in yours. But let's take a look of what makes them similar and what makes them different. Now, as I mentioned, both of them allow you to list gear. Now, the only other thing that makes them similar, it allows you to make a profile. So let's take a look at it. My Sharegrid profile. Now, this is my Sharegrid profile, which I spent some time putting effort into. Talks about my professional career, that I spent over 10 years in the media business, my time in New York, now transitioning to South Florida, and also talks about our rental procedures. Now, if we jump into Kitsplit, it does have a similar feature, but if you guys seen that video, we had to make a brand new profile. I still did not build it out, but this is where your profile would be featured along with your photo, your reviews, and references. Now, this is where the similarities end. Now, the reason I say that is that, as you guys might have heard, is that Sharegrid mostly focuses on hubs. Now, what I mean by hubs is that Sharegrid, whenever you say you're located, let's say, in Toledo, Ohio, it puts you in a hub. So it will put you in Detroit, Michigan. So sadly, Sharegrid prefers not to list every single city in the country or even internationally. It likes to focus on major creative hubs like Detroit, Chicago, Los Angeles, Miami, New York, etc. Now, I mentioned that in my full Sharegrid video. I see it as a pro and a con, which is understandable. Why? Because it might take a lot more resources to list every single city in the United States, and there might be not enough marketplace interest in that. Because if you think about some places in Alabama or some places in Mississippi, no offense to those places, but there might be not a big production industry associated in those places. Or let's say, I don't know, New Mexico, although there's been some big productions done in New Mexico. But you guys know where I'm coming from. Now, Kitsplit does allow you to put pretty much any possible location out there. So let's say you want to put Toledo, Ohio, and Kitsplit, sorry. Apparently, I cannot speak on a Friday. It does allow you to put any custom city in it. So let's say Toledo, Ohio, or Syracuse. Here is Syracuse, New York. Now, I use those two examples because I've resided in both of those cities. So this is why I think Kitsplit wins a little bit over Sharegrid. Now, I don't want to do this back and forth thing. Let's focus a little bit more on Sharegrid and we'll jump to Kitsplit. Now, another thing that Sharegrid has that Kitsplit does not, it has a referral system. When you do sign up, if you guys do want to support the channel and you want to support me, do use our referral code, which is dborisov. You go to sharegrid.com/s/dborisov and use referral code dborisov to get $20 off any rental, $100 off more. Like I said, once again, sharegrid.com/s/dborisov, referral code dborisov to get $20 off your first rental of $100 or more. And you guys can sign up for your own account and have your own affiliate code. Now, the reason I bring this up is that if you are a creative professional and have a social media presence, you can generate some credit and have some free rentals out there to use on your own productions. Now, I think it is a nice perk. Now, that's not cashable. That you cannot take that outside. You can't take that to the grocery store. You cannot pay your rent with that. You cannot pay a mortgage. You cannot pay your car payment with that. You can't take that to the tax man. But it's good for productions. So if you're truly just trying to use it for production purposes or creative purposes, this is a great pro of that. This is what makes Sharegrid a little bit nicer, but like I said, that is not cashable. Also, Sharegrid recently partnered with Backstage.com. Now, it also allows you to list gigs on it. They're advertising that allows you to post gigs up to 100,000 creatives for free. This is why their partnership with Backstage is very strong. There's gigs that are constantly being posted on Backstage. You make an account, it gets linked with Backstage, and you see all the gigs being posted through there. If you're interested in seeing a full video of how that is done, I can make that video in the future if you want to see more into depth into that. But it kind of talks about the back end component of it. So it is good for directors or any sort of back end component of things. So it tries to be not just a rental house or a marketplace, but it tries to be a mediator of gigs. Now, I see this as a pro and a con because I've never heard of anybody saying, hey, I got a gig through Sharegrid. I think there's much bigger platforms if you're trying to go on auditions, if you're trying to land a gig, if you're trying to create any sort of partnerships. I think they're just trying to do this an add-on, but I might be 100% wrong. If I am wrong, please let me know in the comment section below. Now, it also allows you to post yourself as a creative professional, depending where you are. So you can see new crew in Detroit. And if we take a look at it, people can list themselves under different skills. If you look at my previous video on Sharegrid, you can add different skills on your profile. And let's say video producers. There's 21 individuals listed under video producers in the Detroit area. And let's say we have David, we have Anthony, John, Garrett, Marcus, and let's take a look at Marcus. So Marcus D. Green is a Detroit native and creator for Determined Series. He's a producer, editor, videographer, and has produced award-winning work for ESPN and ABC, World News Tonight with David Murr and Diane Sawyer. Marcus is now committed to creating quality, inspiring media dedicated to people in Metro Detroit who are determined to do better for their community. So if you're interested in hiring Marcus, what you would do is you would send him a message through Sharegrid and saying, hey Marcus, I'm interested in hiring you. And there's a review for Marcus about his professional work. Along with this, Marcus seems like that he has a CV on here, and it looks like it's his professional website along with his Twitter, YouTube, Vimeo, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So it allows you to list yourself as a creative professional as well. So if you're trying to book some gigs as a photographer, videographer, voice actor, any sort of kind of behind the scenes creative, once again, you can try to get yourself some gigs. Once again, I've known a lot of people in the creative industry, from photographers, videographers, you name it. I've had opportunities to meet a lot of different people, even individuals like gaffers. I've never heard someone to land a gig through Sharegrid. It's possible. I mean, like I don't want to badmouth Sharegrid when it comes to it, but I don't think that's what Sharegrid is built out for. But it tries to be that. I don't think people are looking for agents on Sharegrid. I mean, I don't think that's the platform for it. But it is what it is. It does have that feature to it. So this is one of the things that separates Sharegrid from Kitsplit. Kitsplit does not have that component to it. So it does have that component of allowing you to have an affiliate partnership and listing yourself as a creative on it, versus Kitsplit allowing you to list any custom location. So that kind of wraps up the pros and cons. I kind of let me give you my final thoughts on the two platforms and who I think is the marketplace dominator between the two. Honestly, I personally, if I am truly trying to generate passive income, generating my equipment, I would focus on Kitsplit. Now you might say, Fallen, why Kitsplit? Because you spend a lot of time focusing on Sharegrid. Because of this whole factor of having custom locations. If you guys seen my video on Kitsplit, I mentioned to you guys that the whole hub thing is a bit of a turnoff. Let's say you're looking for a particular piece of gear and you're trying to rent out, let's say, a Canon C300, which is a cinema camera. And you're scrolling and you find a rental that you're interested for a certain price. But you see it's 100 miles away, and sadly you don't have either the means, the time, or the vehicle to go pick it up. And you were very excited for it and have to go back to the drawing board. Versus if you go to Kitsplit, you can base it on the location that you're searching for. It comes down to basic as that. Another thing that what makes Kitsplit better, it has a wide variety of equipment that Kitsplit does not. If you click on the other category, it has a wider selection. You can rent out desktops, laptops, tablets, smartphones, all sorts of controllers, props, tablets and walkies, networking controllers, live streaming, which Sharegrid does not have the capability and the inclusion for these categories right now on their platform. Now, Sharegrid does have a lot of categories right now included in it, but I honestly just don't feel like they have the infrastructure, and I have not seen that infrastructure change in a long time. Anyways, guys, I am exhausted. It's been a very, very long week. You might tell by this video, but let me know if you've tried any of these platforms, and if what have your experiences been like with any of them. I have a very exciting weekend for you guys. Tons of cool content coming out. There might be some bonus content coming out this weekend. Hint, hint, poke, poke, nudge, nudge. If you want to stay in touch with me outside of YouTube, all my social links will be in the description. Like I said, thank you for all the love and support you've shown us first week coming back, and I'll see you next time. Peace.